Hi, I'm Daria. Go to hell.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to more Friendsim. We are on the second to last episode. We've got 2 more routes to go, 3 endings to find, both of whom involve a boy named. I don't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll figure it out. But I know this one ending. Barzum and Basili are our next ones. And they're high bloods as well. I tend to befriend the high bloods rather easily. Well, at least I actually, not rather easily. But I do enjoy the high blood routes. They're actually like some of my favorites in this whole thing. So let's see. Da, da, da. There we go. Volume 18. Endings. Many. You crash landed on a planet called Alternia. You staggered from the wreckage of your ship. Okay. You were desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly a bit of medical attention, but most of all, you were desperate for friendship. Is what you could say if you were written by a bunch of hacks who cared about who cared about the I can't pronounce Aristotle-like ideal of narrative unity. Possibly you could make some reference into about a circle being complete in a thoughtless and imbecilic manner. But we're all in this together, right? And we've all learned and grown to know that there's something deep and dark and absurd brewing beneath the surface. This isn't about friendship anymore, is it? You've got enough friends. Now you need answers. You need... Dang it. This was just the intro screen. Uh-huh. Oh, the high bloods are smaller than I thought they would be. Always smaller high bloods than you expect. Because I remember seeing, like, their troll call ones, and they looked, like, really big in there. But, yeah, we got Lank... I'm not sure, like, which language this is supposed to come from. Is it French? Which romantic language is this coming from? And we got Barzum and Basili. And, geez. I expect, again, I should just know this by now. The high bloods are freaking... They're never what you expect, are they? These high bloods are so small. Why are there so many small high bloods? It's really interesting to me. But yeah, Lan K here was confirmed to be, like, literally confirmed to be trans. But I'm not going to use that as your only character, like, thing. Because that'd be stupid, just basing your entire, your entire personality and your entire being into being trans. That would be stupid. There's more to life. Anyway, I also heard that this particular route, like, this particular act in general, this volume, I heard that there's, like, some not safe for work, like, segment in here. So I'm a little terrified of what I'm about to find out. But, let's just continue on, shall we? Look at them. That was just easy enough to draw. Just flip the things around. Anyway. I don't even want to know what the transition process is like on Alternia. Oh gosh, I'm just imagining... Oh gosh. Razor sharp beetle jaws attaching themselves to the chest and ripping them off. And that just makes me feel uncomfortable. Anyway. What's next on the docket? Oh, you're really feeling like going completely off the rails. So it's a good thing the first person to ping you on your palm husk is Linera. That nutty girl is exactly the sort of destabilizing influence your life needs right now. Hello, my friend. Because it's what we are now. Cool, that's not a weird at all way to talk to someone. You're really loving this one. Hold on. It's a bit loud, though I'm terrified of touching the thing. I'll just touch it a little. Just a little. I won't do any more. Okay. And I'll just turn it down on my end. Okay. You're not sure what it is, but you're really positive whatever crackpot caper this loopy troll is about to rope you into is going to be a real humdinger. There's a sense of finality in the air. You can taste it. Lanera does you the courtesy of listening to you say that stuff without getting super put off by how much of a... Okay. Okay, let me try reading that sentence again. Lanera does you the courtesy of listening to you say all that stuff about getting super put off by how much of a freak you are. Listen up. So I was thinking, since us becoming friends has worked out so well, I'm starting to think maybe it'd be a good idea to give making more friends another shot after all. I guess. That's what I was thinking. So there's this party I was invited to. You see, the fellow Jades in my cloister always sneak out to go to these things. You gently suggest to Lanera that she should hurry up. Wow, we're definitely angry in this one. Okay, so I'm nervous to go, and I want a friend to come with me, okay? Is that so crazy? No, you don't think it's crazy at all. You think that sounds fantastic, actually. You don't ask for any details because who gives a crap? It's the same party scene. Okay. You show up on the block. You're not going to talk about how you got there or whatever because of waste of time. You're just there. Lanera's met up with you too. Lanera mentions that there might be dancing, so you decide to really dress up for the occasion. Aw, man, you went nuts. You're wearing a cape and stuff, but also like fishnets, maybe a sexy bra if that's your thing. Whatever you happen to drudge out of some dumpster or another. Honestly, you can imagine whatever you want here, but know that it's complete idiocy and you look like a total slut. Lanera isn't wearing anything special because we would have to pay someone to redraw all her sprites. From the looks of it, you're heading over to somebody's hive party? You're rolling up to some kind of joint that from the past experiences you can surmise is an alien domicile. It's pretty big and maybe belongs to someone that blue end of the spectrum. Back here again, is this block just where all the Jade Blood schoolgirls love to get down and dirty? It hits you like a bucket of ice when you realize whose hive you're walking straight towards this time. This is Ardata's hive. Oh, that's just great. Your friend Ardata. Boy, you love Ardata. Can't wait to see her again. As you approach, you can immediately tell what kind of deal they have going on here. You can hear the tunes bumping all the way down the block, and when you get near enough to see what is obviously a bunch of teens passed out drunk on the lawn, this is a full-blown frat house rager. Definitely doesn't seem like Lanera's sort of scene. That's because it isn't. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this. You kind of can't either. You're not even in the front door and you can already feel the sweat pouring down your armpits. This is gonna be so much fun. You pass all the smashed lawn teens and go up to knock on the front door. You have to rap it a few times until the telltale sound of clicking heels faintly reaches your ears. There she is. The door opens and you discover from the gracious hostess standing on the other side of it is none other than your best friend Ardata. Woohoo! She looks surprised to see you for only a moment before her face dissolves into a wicked grin. Did people really like Ardata's route? I guess since it was the first one and people have like a nostalgic, fixation on it, I don't know. I don't know. Going through all these in like one go, I can't really say. Ah, my. Look what the pervies dragged in. Back for more so soon, my sweet? You're not exactly sure how much time has passed since you last ran into Ardata, but it doesn't feel like it can be described as any metric by soon. Well, I mean, the last time we saw her, I believe we were with, oh gosh, Boulder, and we were trying to sneak poison out of her purse. So I'm kind of nervous that that she might be sneaking poison into her party, but who knows? You've been physically savaged so many times since you're not sure what you're blocking out, though. You tell Ardata you're really glad to see her, because you totally are. You tell her that you weren't expecting her to be hosting a party, though. Oh, I don't know if I'd call it a party. More like a friendly kickback of sorts. They're sort of exclusive, really. All of the world's finest influences are here. How exactly did you hear about my little shindig? Little with only one T. Okay. Well, I certainly consider you to be one of my finest friends. I don't recall inviting you. You gesture vaguely to Lanera. She doesn't seem to know how to lie and immediately cracks under the pressure. One of the other Jades from my cloister told me to come. His name is Lank, but I don't think he was invited either. I get the impression we kind of always come out here. Besides, basically we're crashing, if that's okay? Well, of course. What's an informal soiree without a few entirely uninvited interlopers? Lanera doesn't seem to know if she's being sarcastic or not, and you aren't sure if she's either, to be honest. She is either, to be honest. You're like, are you kidding with us? And she's like, ho ho ho, mwahaha, or whatever. Of course not. I just have but one question for you, my dears. Oh gosh, too close. Ardata beckons you near. You obey her slavishly. Then she leans close to your ear and intones. Okay. Do you hereby certify under the penalty of law that you are of age to view adult content with your state of legal residence and have acknowledged the contents of this volume's accompanying mature content description and uncomfortable with the prospect of engaging with challenging or otherwise controversial fictional material? Well, I don't have a choice. You bet it, Chief. Tell her to let you in. Oof, you're too scared. Well, I'd say oof, I'm too scared, but I can't get out of this. I have to continue on with the pace, or else the epilogue probably won't make any sense. Let me in. Ha 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 ha. That's good to hear. Why don't you come right in then, my dear? I don't want to see you making any little posts online on how my party was too problematic for you, though. Ardata steps back and welcomes you again into her abode with a grandiose gesture. You're very, very excited for Ardata's party, and you know definitively that you will enjoy absolutely every second of what she has in store for you. Once you stepped in past the threshold, Ardata blows you a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiastic guests. Wow, look at this. Who's the guy with the crucifix? And who's the Hidden Leaf Village kid? Wow, this background art is like really wow. Okay. Okay. The first thing that hits you once you're in the door is the music. It's a solid wall of bass that reverberates through your body down to your bones. The intense dance track is blasting so loud you can hardly hear yourself think. It has to be this loud to drown out all the shouting coming from the living room. As you apprehensively advance, it becomes quickly clear that Lanera is completely out of her element here. She's a bundle of nerves beside you, practically glued to your hip. When you actually step into the living room, she physically attaches herself to your arm. Wow, this is more than I was expecting! You too. This scene is absolute chaos. The living room in the house is filled to the brim with rowdy teens dancing rhythmically to pounding music. The furniture has been all knocked over or otherwise destroyed, and you can make a pretty good guess of what's filling all the red cups you see in everyone's hands. You're about to tell Lanera that you can't blame her if she wants to dip, but you can't get the words out before you're being flagged down by a jade-blooded boy who's just muscled his way out of the throng of partygoers with a few of his friends in tow. Wow, you changed the music really quick on there. Okay, so I guess it doesn't matter what voice I give you, because either way it's gonna be wrong. So, okay. Lanera, you made it. Lanera all but flings herself away from your body and flinches like a scared animal as the troll approaches. For all the commotion and ruckus, he's still remarkably well put together. The vigorous dance huddle doesn't seem to have disturbed his sharp makeup or his impeccably coiffed hair. There's a curious red stain down the front of his white shirt, though. Oh, you're a rainbow drinker, aren't you? Well, it makes sense. I mean, it mentioned that you did have a live journal. So I just assumed that you're a My Immortal. I'm just kidding. I don't know if you're my immortal. I'll refuse. I will try to keep myself from calling you Ebony, Darkness, Dementia, Raven, Way, okay? Man, I'm just slurring everywhere. Man, I am super tired, I guess. He has a slutty-looking indigo-blooded girl on his right arm and even sluttier-looking teal-blooded boy on his left, though he shakes them off and waves them away by the time he reaches you, and Lanera isn't at the entryway to the room. I can read, I swear. Hi, Lank. Yeah, I'm here. You watch the amusement as Lanera practically bursts into flame under his gaze, and it only gets worse when he sidles up to give her a startlingly intimate embrace. She squeaks and tries to hug him back, but is too timid to actually touch him with her hands. You can see sweat pouring down her face. Oh, we have a new new flush crush, do we? After a solid 5 seconds that seems to include Lank smelling Lanera's hair, he pulls back to smile down at Lanera with a heavy gaze. Lanera's face is bright green, and her eyes are bugging out of her skull from how flustered she is. But she's not into it, you don't think? It's hard to tell, but you kind of get the impression he'd be dead right now if she weren't. Oh gosh, I'm already getting... My stomach is grumbling for food. Dang it. Okay. Either way, it's awkward. Lucky for Lanera, Lank either doesn't notice or doesn't care. He settles into a comfortable for him posture, with his arm casually around Lanera's waist and turns to you. Oh, who's this? This is my... friend? Yeah. Lank quirks an eyebrow. You have friends? Don't be a jerk, dude. The question seems to leave Lanera speechless, so Lank takes the opportunity to look back at you. His eyes rake up and down your body in a way that leaves you feeling distinctly objectified. Oh, aren't you interesting? The fact that you have red nail polish also makes me question things. Okay, sorry. Is there a reason you look like that? Tongue over the fang. No, I don't like this weird Draco Malfoy-ish person that we have going on here. Okay. What a question. He doesn't explain what that is specifically referring to. You just gestured to all of me. And given both your alien status and your state of dress, it could mean any number of things. You might take it as an insult and not for the way he licks his lips after he says it. You can't seem to pry his eyes off you. Let's see, you look at Lanera for a cue, but she's too out of it to give you any sort of intelligible sign. So you just explain how you crash landed on this alien planet of an indeterminate amount of time ago, and you don't really know what you're doing or much of anything about anything. The fact that your appearance could be due to either this or the fact that you're generally a disaster of irrespective of your planetary origin. How fascinating. I've never met an alien before. Well, you have. Lots of times. In fact, literally everyone and everything around this is alien to you. You find your word diarrhea becoming more and more awkward and embarrassing as Lank's eyes start burning a hole in the center of your chest. There's no need to be so shy. I don't bite until asked. Lank disconnects himself from Lanera as he rounds on you. It's like he's lost any interest in her existence now that you're in front of him. Lanera looks at you with completely pathetic expression that readily informs you as to what your response needs to be. You'll be danged if you aren't going to be the best wingman possible, so you definitely ignore Lank's blatant pass and turn the conversation back to Lanera. You ask Lank how long he and Lanera have known each other. Lank raises his eyebrows at the question. Well, I suppose since she was chosen for the cloister? Some number of sweeps ago. I don't remember really. So they choose Jade Bloods to certain locations? Like, different parts of the world, they're just like, this Jade Blood looks like she'd be great at taking care of the mother grub and kiddos. Let's send her. Which makes me question their choice a little bit. Jeez. Okay. I don't remember, really. It was 2.4 sweeps. Oh, right, then that many, I guess. Huh, that's a pretty long time, actually. Haha, yeah. Pretty impressive that you managed to get a solid 2.4 of them without saying a single word to me, but that wasn't circulated to me secondhand by your snide gossiping behind my back. Ooh. Take a sip for that tea. Okay. Let's go. Wow. Talk about whiplash. Lanera's eyes get big like saucers. What? 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 What are you? I don't know what you're talking about. The tone of conversation has totally morphed from fire to ice in an instant, though neither Lank's expression nor demeanor have changed much. He slips in the knives with all the calm composure of a casual statement. What, you're gonna pretend you didn't spend a better part of the last 2.5 sweeps complaining about how much I disgusted you? Come now. You do know what everyone is aware that you're a nasty little... Oh, wow. Right, Lanera? I mean, don't take it the wrong way. The Dementia Darkness Raven way. I don't really mind. I'm hardly in a position to criticize. I was just curious what caused the sudden change of heart, after so long decrying my vain, slatternly lifestyle. Have the impending ordeals finally made the little clock start to tick down in that dry, dusty nook of yours? Is that what nook is supposed to mean? Jeez. Okay, I didn't want to know about troll anatomy that much to find out what nook actually meant. Now I know what nook means. Okay. Did you figure I was one of the only one who might be loose enough to willing clean out the cobwebs before you get shipped off to Space Church and never have the chance again? Woo. Oh my gosh. This dude is gonna kill. Okay. Just wondering. There's a long, excruciating moment where Lanera says nothing. She just stares up at Lank beside her with a completely shell-shocked expression, but before you try to pipe up Lanera's defense, she burst into tears. Oh no. Oh, she gone. But Lanera suddenly turns and makes a mad dash to run out the door and away from the party. You're torn between running after her and giving this jerk a real piece of your mind. Your mind's made up when you look back at Lank just in time to catch him rolling his eyes. Hey, you say. That was kind of rude, don't you think? Lank snorts. Me? Rude? Are you perhaps attempting to screw with me? Clearly you haven't spent much time around this bitter pill if you think that was any sort of precisely what she deserves. You concede that maybe you don't have a full enough grasp on Jadeblood Cloister social dynamics to make a definitive judgment on whether or not Lanera deserved to be so ruinously owned, but she's your friend, and what good are you if you don't stick up for the people you care about? I have no idea what even got her so upset. Like I said, it's not like I really care what she says about me, but you don't get to spend so much time as she does being such a venomous little snake and act surprised when someone calls you out on it. Then why did he invite her, you ask? It seems needlessly cruel to Lank to lead her on false pretenses, if he never intended to be her friend at all. I promise you, I had no such designs. The only reason I even invited her to this thing was that my ex was being a real blood-sucking jerk, and no one else wanted to go. I was willing to give her an honest shot, but I've no time for a vicious slandering nag who can't even admit what she is. I thought it might be interesting to see what that crusty little shrew might be like if you could manage to wrest her bulge free of whatever excruciating knot she's got it tied into. But I guess now we'll never know. What? this is clearly a conversation. You're going to have to Switzerland out pretty soon. What? You try to explain the historical significance of Switzerland's political neutrality on your home planet. Lank's eyes glaze over like he's listening to you recite a sports almanac for cricket stats. Hey, there might be some people that enjoy cricket stats. That's nice. Anyway, since I've scared away my date, why don't you stay a while so you and I can get to know each other a little better? You seem much more interesting than she is, anyway. Jeez, too close. Seeing the little white prick of your eye is a bit startling. Don't do that. When did Lank get so close to you? Your heart beats a little faster, and then he smiles at you like that, so poisonous and shamelessly laced with intent. Lanera is definitely not the only one coming off like a snake here. I've less time to waste than most, my dear. Never seen the value of beating around the bush. Well, maybe it'd be socially prudent of you to go after Lanera and make sure she's okay, but it's not her volume of the Friendsim. But it's also not her volume of the Friendsim. So instead so instead of doing that, you're going to stick around and see what this spectacularly binary prima donna is all about. No, briary, not binary. Jeez. You had your chance to bail out of this crap show, but it's all that's left to do now is barrel downhill as metaphorically as you can manage. Fantastic. Care to dance? Why the heck not? Lank laughs pleasantly and reaches out to take you by the hand. The contact gives you a little thrill despite yourself. He's got nice hands, so soft and warm and well taken care of, and you know it's going to be one hell of a ride wherever he's taking you. Come with me. To the kitchen. You do. He doesn't lead you straight to the dance floor, though. He takes you around the throng of dancing partygoers, over to the kitchen of the house first. You weren't expecting to find a familiar face waiting for you there. Elward, what up? It's been a while, hasn't it? Hey, fancy meeting you here. You don't find it that surprising, honestly. Man, I'm getting... The weirdness between the two different art styles is getting to me. I'm sorry. Lank, Elward doesn't have ears. Okay. Moving on. So you two know each other? You could say that. That's great. Do you give discounts to friends? I sure don't. You know the price, pretty boy. Pay up. You're a little confused. What is being purchased here exactly? Elward gives you a funny look. You a drone? What? Hush. You do as you're told and watch Lank and Elward carry out their shady transaction. Lank hands over the credits and receives an opaque little baggie of something in return. Oh well, you guess you don't really need to see what this is figuring. Okay, you really don't need to see what's in the thing to figure out what this is at this point. As soon as the deal is done, Lank has his hand into the small of your back and is deftly guiding you away from the scene of the crime. Is buying Druges a crime here? You aren't really well versed about the laws of Alternia, but it doesn't honestly really seem like anybody would give much of a crap about anybody doing drugs out here. You guess the clandestine transactions are just for the aesthetic. Lank's got you back in a shady corner of the party and is pressing one of the tablets. He bought into your hand with a sly grin. He expects you to join in. You're like, hold on a minute. Your experiences with alien drugs haven't really been that great, honestly, and you're not sure you're that excited for a repeat performance. Lank's immediate response is to sneer. Oh, I see. You're one of those people. One of what people? You know, a bit boring, maybe? There are words that could be used to describe you, but you don't think boring is a remote contender. You're always doing all kinds of unbelievably stupid crap and getting into uncountable, wacky, and life-threatening situations. Is it really that much to ask for there to be one time you don't rush headfirst into doing something you know is going to screw you up and be totally awful? Lank's lips press into a thin, annoyed line. These things aren't cheap, you know. I bought them for you. Well, you didn't ask him to do that, did you? Oh, come on, you're really going to be like this? Yeah, you totally are. Lank sighs dramatically. Fine. Ah! Diamond! No! Lank casts around for the nearest victim and grabs his attention with a hand on his wrist. To your dismay, it's your sweet, innocent hot dog chum, Diamond. Alas, there's nothing for you to do to stop him from falling prey to Lank's wicked designs. Here, have these. Oh yeah, great! Thanks, I love to put derugues on my wiener. Don't want to hear that statement out of context. What a tragedy. Before you know it, Lank has a hold of you again and is dragging you off. Let's just dance. You're not too much of a square to do that, are you? Of course not. Dancing is basically the only thing you actually plan to come here and do, so that's just great. You go along with Lank enthusiastically when he pulls you over to the writhing mass of bodies bumping and grinding on the dance floor. You get down to it. You discover that Lank has a very interesting dance style, and by interesting you mean it primarily consists of directly grinding his body against yours in an incredibly shameless fashion. But pressed in as you are from all sides by sweaty and inebriated bodies, there's not exactly much room for Troll Jesus to begin with. Now I'm just imagining the sufferer just being like T-posing, like, no! And I'm like, I promise Cankry, nothing's happening. Okay. Lank is up on you so close it's hard not to sweat. He has his hands at your hips and your face fixed with his sharp eyes. His heavy stare is nearly hypnotic, so blatant and undisguised in his expression. It's clear what he wants, and maybe that's more than what you're prepared to give, but when he looks at you that way, it's impossible to look away. You just go with it. Why not? It feels good, and it's not like anyone else is watching. You're surrounded by trolls, boxed in, pouring sweat, and yet it feels like you're the only two people there. Lank draws in, teeth by your ear, and this close you can hear him easily, even over the overwhelming pound of the bass. You have the palest skin I've ever seen. Why, yes, thank you. I avoid the sun. Now, yeah, you tell him you're literally F white, which is like blank. That makes you super racially inoffensive, FYI. Lets you know, you let Lank know he can see you any way he wants, which is even more woke than making a decision. I'm crying. Thin as paper. Why, yes. We're like 2D cutouts. I can see all the way inside you. And all your veins and your red blood. You smell like candy. I wonder how you'd taste. Wow, you say that's some stuff a vampire would say. Oh, I'm expecting him to just take you out in the middle of the wilderness of forks and be like, say it, and maybe like, you're a rainbow drinker. Okay. As long as he doesn't call me a spider monkey, I think that'd be okay. Then again, that was the only thing that Robert Pattinson, yeah, he actually suggested Spider Monkey because he freaking hated being a Twilight vampire, and I enjoy that about him. I respect him so much. Anyway, presuming I'm a rainbow drink would be an awfully reductive and literal reading of my character. Shut up, it's what you are. I'm just making a blatant sexual pass. Oh, okay, good thing that's all cleared up. You take this as an opportunity to really let loose, showing off everything you've got with the sexy dance acumen department. Lank is a little bewildered. What are you doing? You're like, what aren't I doing? There's a fire on the dance floor and you struck the match. You're just tearing it up here. Really getting it. Bringing it down, bopping and crumping and whatever. You're smashing your butt into everyone around you and getting hot and heavy with those lusty moves. Awkward. There's a point where Link has to step back, you presume to properly behold your art in all its glory. And soon it becomes clear that that it's not your prodigious dance skills that's given him pause. You follow his startled gaze and see the cause for alarm. Bronya is here, and she looks mad. Oh, your mom's gonna chew you out, Link. Oh no. Bronya is still standing at the entryway contending with Ardata, and it looks like she hasn't caught sight of you yet, but Link isn't wasting any time. Before you realize what's happening, Link has you by the wrist and is hauling you away from the dance floor off down the hallway. Are we in a bedroom now? Link finds safety in a bedroom. Respite block, you remind yourself, when you take stock of the conspicuous absence of any bed and the presence of a revolting-looking slime cocoon in which trolls allegedly spend their repose. You hold each other in a tense, nervous silence pressed against the locked door. What feels like an eternity passes, your breath held. The sound of your blood rushing through your own ears is almost enough to drown out the music. Seconds turn to minutes and nobody comes to find you. It seems for now you escaped Bronya's notice. When you turn your head to look at Link, you find he's been staring at you for some time. I haven't been able to take my eyes off you since the moment I first saw you. You're just so interesting, you know, and just how bland you are, and how much of a character, like a self-insert character you could be. I just assume that's what he says. He freezes like a hare you freeze like a hare staring down a snake. Can we just confirm that he's a snake one more time? Link lifts his hand to brush a thumb across your cheek, fingers curling under your chin. You meet his eyes, his pupils are so black. I want to know what it's like to kiss you. Link's tongue darts out to wet his painted lips. Do you want to kiss me? Whoa. Well, you already clicked on at least 2 mature content disclaimers to get this far. Why the hell not? Link leans in and presses his lips against yours. He kisses much more sweetly than he looks. His lips are soft and wet and taste like blackberries. This beats making out with a couple of greasy teens behind a dumpster, that's for sure. When one of his fangs nicks your bottom lip, you don't even care. But when a drop of blood beats down on his invasive tongue, Link draws back just an inch. You taste sharp and dangerous. Like a weapon. Is that a good thing? It's not a bad thing. Link pulls further back. His hand slips from your cheek. His fingers trail down your neck to rest on your collar, thumb brushing against the thrum of your pulse. Have you ever paled before? Are we actually gonna figure out what paling is in this universe? I need an adult. I am an adult. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Link shrugs off his jacket and starts unbuttoning his shirt. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this really gonna go there? You're like, well, no, you've never done any alien intercourse with a bucket. But it doesn't look like he has ever... But it looks like he even has one on him at the moment. Doesn't look like he even has one on him at the moment. That was apparently the wrong thing to say because Link's face scrunches up in displeasure. Don't mock me. It's my first time. Really? So you just act like one? But not actually... Interesting. Okay. You figure laughing would constitute mocking him, so you don't. But the look you gave him seems to say enough. Us Jades who live in the cloisters have been chosen for a very special duty. We're expected to adopt a chaste and... what is that? I'm trying to... Okay. Ascetic. Ascetic? Okay, I'll say ascetic because I don't know how it's actually pronounced. Life in service of the continuation of our species. And when we undergo our ordeals in our sent-off world, there's no such thing as sneaking out of the caverns. If I don't do this now, when? My life is nearly over. Will you help me feel alive? But before you answer, Bronia's voice starts to rise shrill over the heavy music. Link! Leg hands shoot out lightning speed to draw you close before you can so much as gasp. He presses one of his palms over your mouth to keep you quiet. Oh crap, she's close, and from the sound of it, she's getting closer. Link! I know you're here. You need to come out and come home right now. Link leans in close to your ear. Shh. What will you do? Call in his mom. This has gotten problematic enough, or keep quiet. You want to see where this goes. Oh, gosh. Saving. Though I don't think it matters. I think both endings kind of turn out the same. Well, this has like 2 possible endings. Wish I had a coin to flip. Okay. I'm gonna call his mom just so I can ruin everything. You rip Link's hands off your mouth and start yelling for Bronya. What the hell, dude? Oh, he's got grub scars. Link tries to scramble away from you to make some sort of last-ditch effort to escape, but there's no use. Bronya hears you and comes running, furious. She hulks the locked door off its hinges before you can even get up to let her in. You duck flying chunks of alien architecture and scuttle off to avoid where you fear might be further alien fists. Link! As angry as her voice is, some of the fury goes out of her face the moment her gaze lands on Link's state of partial undress. She reflexively brings a hand up to shield her eyes. What in the world? Put your clothes back on this instant, young man. Link freezes where he stands, apparently accepting that he's been caught. There's nowhere left to run. If he doesn't intend to fling himself out the window, a sneer uncoils on his face. Oh, please, save the purity act. Like, this is anything you haven't already seen a dozen times before. Bronya's face goes bright jade. What? What in the world are you implying? I would never. Forget Lanera. You've always been the craziest jade in the whole cloister. You know you aren't exactly our Lucis, right? You're not our mom. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll show you how much not your mom I am. Bronya marches right up to Link and slaps him hard across the face. Ouch. Link makes an undignified noise as he recoils from the blow. It looks like that really hurt. His face is stinging bright under the handprint. He forces out a strained laugh. My word, Bronya. If you wanted to join us, all you had to do was ask. Dang, you wish you had some popcorn right now. You just kind of sit back and take it all in. Link's invective. Let's see. Link's invective has its apparent desired effect. Bronya is all but steaming at this point, hands balled into fists at her side. You kind of want to say hi to your friend, but she's a little preoccupied, it seems. I'm not going to rise to your petty baiting. You know you're in the wrong here. 1. I've spoken time and time again about recklessly sneaking out to these parties, and now you're dragging Lanera into your mess. 2. Lanera told me about all the things you've been saying and doing to her. It is completely unacceptable, Link. 3. You've had more than enough lectures about the way you treat your flushed quadrant partners, and it absolutely needs to stop. 4. You're coming back with me to the cloisters right now. When we're home, we're going to have one last serious talk about this. If there aren't changes, there's going to be consequences. Eventually, Bronya's overbearing hollering seems to have finally broke Link down. He sighs, shoulders slumped, and rolls his eyes. Fine, fine. Bronya crosses her arms indignantly as she waits for Link to finish fixing his clothes. Link buttons his shirt, puts back on his jacket and his tie, and he asks to go retrieve his palm husk, which he seems to have discreetly slid over where you're standing. He casually saunters his way over, and instead of picking up his own device, snatches yours out of your hand. Hey, I've gotta go, but let me give you my chitter information. Maybe we can pick up where we left off later, sweetheart. Branya stomps over to grab Link by the ear, the one that's actually drawn, and drags him away. But not before he's finished putting his chitter contact into your palm husk. He shoves it back into your hand, mouths a "see you later," and then fully is hauled out of the room. Hypocrite. You need to shut your mouth. And they're gone. Friendship accomplished, you guessed? Chitter mutuals! Wow, look at how we're dressed. That's so ridiculous. I like how the torso just cuts off and the legs just get thick. I can't even with this. Okay. Do you want to understand? No or yes? Can I save? One. No. Game over? Okay. Maybe we should save the... Should we save the dog scratch thing for, like, after the next route, or does it really freaking matter? Anyway, let's finish up Lank's route and see what happens next. Okay. Let's keep this quiet. You want to see where this goes? Okay. You keep your mouth shut and wait for Branya to pass. She only shouts for a little while longer before the sound of her voice fades away. There are too many blocks in this hive for her to try to break down the door to every one, and she didn't look too closely at this one. You've lost her. When it becomes clear Branya is gone for good, Lank lets his hand fall from your lips. You feel him smile against your ear. Where were we? You turn in Lank's arms and look up into his blazing eyes. How can you alien pale without a bucket? I don't mind doing it without one. Sometimes it can be fun to get a little messy, don't you think? Oh, gosh. Ugh. Sorry, I just had a visceral, like, gag reflex there. Okay. You're like, weren't you saying this is your first time? Lank answers you with another kiss. This time he means business. Kya, MC-chan! Phew! You go all the way with the super slutty alien, then you slump on the ground completely wasted. Maybe this all went kind of off the rails, but you have to admit it would have been a real shame if you went through this entire extraterrestrial adventure and never got to smash even a single alien. What would be the point, honestly? This guy really did a whole number on you. You're lying spread eagle on the floor as Lank is putting his clothes back on. Man, this is probably your most accomplished friendship to date. You're not ready to move just yet, but since you and Lank are such good chums now, you figure it's a good time as any to ask for his chitter. Lank seems surprised to hear you speak. Huh? You want to add me on chitter? Yeah, you say, isn't that what friends do? Oh, sorry, I can't. My palm husk is broken right now. You lie. You lie. Lank says, while typing away furiously on his palm husk. He doesn't even look down at you. You're like, but you're using it right now? Lank rolls his eyes. I thought you would take the obvious hint. What obvious hint? Lank huffs. Look, I was trying to be nice, but you just weren't that good, babe. I don't often ring the same bell twice, but if I were going to consider it, you'd have shown me a better performance than that. Whoa. Holy crap. That's that, you guess. Your lowest low. Your first time banging an alien and you couldn't even satisfy him. A little seed of worthlessness takes root inside of you and germinates so explosively that it fills you up until there's basically nothing left. You die of shame instantly. Shame to death. Wait, so how am I supposed to get that other ending? The valid ending? Okay. I guess we going back into that route and taking a look around. See what we missed. Okay. Skippity-doo-dah. Oof, you're too scared. Aw man, the sound of that is making you quick in your slutty little boots. Controversial fictional material, you say? Dang, it's almost starting to sound like a woman wrote this. Count you out. Whoa. Ardata clicks her tongue. She reaches for the cup of markers she puts on the table next to the door and pulls one out. You flinch back as she wields it like a weapon to draw a big blue X on the back of your hand. Here. Now all my fine guests will know that we've got a delicate little angel on our hands. And then she turns to Lanera. What about you, my sweet thing? Oh, I'm not real, so it's cool. Jeez. Very well then. Welcome to the bash. Drinks are free, but if you die of poisoning, you're contractually obligated to croak in range of one of my cameras. I thought so. Toodaloo. Ardata blows you with a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiastic guests. You and Lanera step past the threshold and have a look around. Lanera is visibly nervous. Unfortunately, it's a bit infectious. You ask where her friend is. She glances around a bit. Oh, I don't know. He's... Oh, over here. Oh, we're sitting in a cool club room. I can't. Seriously. Ah, who's that L-word looking person over in the corner there? Is that actually L-word? Anyway, you follow her gaze to the living area of the house. It's a far cry from the sight outside. The music's not nearly as bumpin' as you originally thought it was. The whole shebang seems to have a pretty chill teenagers drinking Kool-Aid vibe, apart from the fact that it's definitely not Kool-Aid. Everybody's milling around, chatting amiably. You spot a few familiar faces. Diamond flirting with roasting his Frank on the hearth. L-word leaning casually against the door frame. Oh, okay, so that was L-word, and I didn't notice Diamond there for a second. Oh, okay. And we got Skyla just hanging out over there, too. Okay, cool. This is cool. Okay. L-word leaning casually against the door frame of the kitchen, talking to some cute girl. Skyla recounting some enrapturing rodeo caper to a group of gathered trolls. It's a real diverse roster of friendly folks. You spot who Lanera is pointing to at the center of the parlor's arrangements of couches and armchairs, sat among a group of friends on the floor, the only other jade blood in the room. He's even more impeccably dressed and done up than the rest of the marked-up, fashionably forward jades you've met. When he catches sight of Lanera, his face lights up, and he rises to make his way over and greet you. Wow, they changed him 180, son of a gun, son, okay. And they button up his tie. They, like, fix his tie. They put a little flower crown on him. I can't even with this. So stoked. I'm broken. Okay. Oh, Lanera, you've made it after all. I was starting to think you weren't going to come. Oh, well, surprise. I didn't, come, I did come, but hi, I'm here, lol. You cringe, but Lank seems otherwise unaffected by Lanera's astonishingly embarrassing display. He turns to you with a warm smile. And who's this? You can't help but get a little flustered when your eyes meet. His makeup and stylings might lean to the severe and feminine, but he has a contrastively calming and masculine voice that puts you to ease right away. He seems to have quite the opposite effect on Lanera. Before you could answer yourself, she starts blabbering a mile a minute. Oh, this is my friend. I invited them. They're an alien. I guess I almost murdered them because I was jealous at their friendship with Branya, but I didn't, and we're friends now, and I'm starting to work past my self-destructive obsession with her, and they agreed to come with me because I'm socially anxious and afraid of you. Well, aw, that's awfully nice of them. Hold on. Sorry? I know that was a lot at once. Let me reorganize that statement into a clearer, digestible list of bullet points. You've absolutely no need to do that, Lanera. I've understood your points just fine. Oh, okay. Link looks back at you. Thank you for helping Lanera feel more comfortable here. Why don't you come and sit with us? Link turns and gestures to the other trolls he was speaking with before, a teal-blooded boy and an indigo-blooded girl, neither of whom you recognize. They both have notebooks on their laps. They give you friendly waves. Wow, this is so weird. Going with the not safe for work route first. Okay. Okay. Sounds great. What are we doing? We were just in the middle of a poetry reading. I don't know if you've prepared anything of your own to share, but you might find it relaxing just to listen. Poetry? Lanera's face has gone bright green. Oh boy. Why would you think I've written any poetry? I don't. Really? It was merely a suggestion. Have you? Well, maybe. Wait. No. You put in a comforting hand on Lanera's shoulder, intuiting immediately that she has indeed written plenty of poetry but is embarrassed by the prospect to share any of it. You remind her she's among trusted friends here and has nothing to fear. Oh, I guess you're right. Well then, please come and join us. Link leads you back to the group, inviting you to sit down with them in a circle. Lanera goes to deliberate lengths to insert you between herself and Link so that you're the one sitting next to him. Why don't we pick up where we left off? I was just about to read my latest piece. You say that sounds great. Link's two friends close their eyes and take each other's hands. You and Lanera are both plenty surprised when Link and the indigo blood sitting next to Lanera try to take yours to close the circle. At your obviously shocked expression, Link explains, we find physical contact helps us feel closer on our spiritual level during our poetry sessions. But if you aren't comfortable with it, you're under no obligation. You feel really respected right now, so you and Lanera both assent to join the circle. She even takes the initiative to hold your hand first. Link reaches out and takes your fingers gently into his. You don't know what it is, but you can't help yourself from blushing shyly. His hand is soft and warm in yours. Short red nails immaculately manicured. Then let me begin. This is a short poem I've written in free verse based on something haunting me as of late. Reflecting back on one of my most complicated and passionate past relationships. Forgive me, this might be a bit raw. It is, as of yet, untitled. Link draws a deep breath and closes his eyes. His notebook is open in his lap. You can see the poem written there is in an elegant hand, but he doesn't seem to look at it to recite the words. What is the meaning of a memory? A question I oft ponder, intangible and untraceable by anything but the mind, yet so potent as to leave one sick, as if poisoned or wounded, in a literal sense. And what meaning is there in regret and longing? Can my lamentations change the past? Will they move the future? Shall they amount to much more than what unmoors my here and now? If I restrict my world to that but which is before my eyes, to those whom I may touch, to that which I might alter, no one would conclude that thoughts of you are last among what I would consider to matter. And yet, still you haunt me like a scar, like a disease uneager to abate. Who are you, and who am I, so long without you? I know, I don't know, I won't know. What do I know? But what I know, and what can it even mean to know? No, no, no. Ugh, though it so vexes me, though so little I valued it when it was before me, a thing and a you I could touch and see and know and hate and wonder, revile, worship. Now it and you are a traceless ghost, and I preoccupy myself with nothing but futile tasks of redefinition and reinterpretation, and circuitous dwellings on that which I understand even less now. Then in the times when my wonderings might have been so easily answered, with a question or a bite or a kiss, or even a single word spoken honestly. Pressed though I am to give color to our bond, I look not to onyx nor ash, but to that which pulses within our very veins, that's so blindingly jade, hard as the stone for which it is so named. Twisted and pulled, hammered and forged, shaped and unnaturally as if a chain. A stricture within scriptures. A certain so meaningful tincture. I can't pronounce that word. Resent you, though I must, envy you, though I may. Now leagues and leagues stretch between us, and I make peace with naught but what I say. You are only that which is within me, my blood and my mind, and that is at once nothing, and at the most elementary definition of everything. You realize you're holding your breath when Lank finally finishes. The circle falls into meaningful silence, taut as a wire. The tension breaks when his eyes flutter open, tears spilling over his long lashes. You squeeze Lank's hand gently. He weeps silently and beautifully, such powerful art. He musters a wan smile as he gazes across the circle at Lanera. Lanera, would you like to read next? Lanera looks stunned. There's moisture gathering in the corner of her eyes. Of course, anyone would be moved by something so emotional and raw. I guess I have a poem I could read. Lanera takes out her planner and opens it, breaking the circle of held hands. She can't recite it from memory like Lank. When she speaks, her voice is small and timid. This one's called Still. I'm still. I sit still. I do what I'm told, still. I wonder about the way that I am and think. Still? I see her every day, and I still miss her. She hugs me, and I still feel cold. I'm surrounded by people, and I'm still alone. I'm still me. I still love her, and I still hate that. Wow, you're really proud of Lanera for opening up like this. She's crying too now. You reach out and take her hand back in yours. The indigo beside her comfortingly strokes her shoulder. Sorry. It's not really good and long like yours, Lank. I'm not really a poet or anything. I just wrote down how I feel. Lanera, that's fine. I thought it was beautiful. Poetry is about expressing yourself. It's not important that it be any set length or sound any certain way. All that matters is that you've spoken your blood pusher. And I think you've accomplished that remarkably. We're all very proud of you. You find yourself drawn into the group hug by Lank and the other trolls. Lanera is sobbing openly now, and her raw emotion seems to have inspired similar pathos in the others. Before you know it, you feel yourself tearing up too. It feels good to get it all out. But before long, it's becoming clear that Lanera is kind of reaching her limit. She pulls back and sniffles out something about wanting to go home. Of course, Lanera, if that's what you need. I'll talk to you back at the cloister. Okay. See to it that she gets back safe, will you? You tell Lank that of course you will, and take Lanera carefully by the hand and lead her out of the party. She squeezes your fingers back to let you know that she appreciates you. You walk back from the party in a comfortable silence for a while. When you glance out over her face, it occurs to you that you've never seen Lanera this happy. Of course, this is literally the second time you've actually seen her. Third time. Get it right. So you guess you wouldn't actually have much frame of reference for what her normal emotional state actually is. You really want to encourage her on this path of recovery she's going down and all, so you ask her about, her and Lank. What? Her and Lank. What? We're just friends. I mean, it's not like I have a crush on him or anything. I know I've had romantic feelings for a girl before, so it'd be really problematic if I liked a boy now. A, no it wouldn't. B, whatever. Oh, you say you're sorry. You didn't know. It's okay. Just don't let it happen again. Unless, I don't know, we get a lot of, Twitter, a Twitter anger management course going on over all of this, which would be kind of ridiculous, but whatever. Lanera gives a warm smile and reaches out to pull you into a hug. Thank you for helping me. I was really nervous, and I think if it hadn't been for your help, I wouldn't have been able to come at all. But I did, so thanks. It wasn't perfect, but I think I really opened up tonight. I'll see Link again, and you, I hope. And in the future, things will be easier, right? You're certain they will. You put a comforting arm around her shoulders and walk her the rest of the way home. You feel like this night really taught you an important lesson. Not everything is about collecting the largest quantity of friends as is humanly possible. Sometimes strengthening your bond with someone you already know can be just as rewarding. So screw you, you say, to the concept of good endings and bad endings and narrative railroading. This route makes you feel heckin' valid, and that's fine by you. Valid! Lanera looks so lumpy. Okay. Do you want to understand? No. Okay. Friendship. We are aware. Dang it, it's an intro screen. Okay. Let's go to Barzum and Basili. They're still so small. Why are there small high bloods? It doesn't make sense. Then again, who knows how old they are? I like the fact that there's two of them. They have a kind of shared sign, only it's mirrored. It's kind of interesting. Okay. We're back in the wilds again. Okay, you've gotten pretty good at the old friend-making game by now. But even an old hand at palling around like you, a real platonic Lothario, has bad nights sometimes. Tonight was one of those nights. It's getting close to morning, and not a new friend in sight. You've met new people, sure, but none of your conversations had panned out the way you wanted them to. Every interaction had come to a close with your friend count no higher than you started, no matter how many compliments, offers to help, and other tried-and-true friending strategies you've whipped out. You won't stand for it. You're determined to finish out the night with at least one more new buddy's name in your little black friendship book. But with the sun's about to rise, you have to admit you're cutting it a little close. Wait, we got 2 suns? I thought we only had 1. Anyway. As each minute ticks by, the sky gets a little lighter, and the possibility of dying in agonizing fiery death gets higher. Maybe it's best for you to just pack it in and find somewhere to spend the day. You pick up your trusty palm husk and call up one of your many friends you already have to ask if they can crash. Hell, maybe Skyla can bring up the sharing a Raccoon again. The soothing ooze has kind of grown on you, and sleeping next to Skyla always made you feel so comfy and safe. Turns out Skyla is more than down with you coming over. Time to make tracks. You turn tail and hurry in the direction of Skyla's digs, but it's not long until you run into a distraction. Come play with us. Oh gosh. That distraction is in the form of a house. It's a dark, crooked thing hulking close to the ground. Slatted wood walls, sloping roofs, vines clinging to it like dust, and cobwebs cling to forgotten things. In the attic, something about it feels off. It possesses a certain energy that sends shivers up your spine and making your hair stand on end. An instinct deep in your gut is telling you to give it a wide berth. On the other hand, it's shelter. Skyla's place is a ways off yet, while the house is right here in front of you. It could be worth seeing if whoever lives here is willing to put you up for the day. Approach the house or no effing way. Let's see. I think I shall put it here. Approach. There's nothing else for it. You make your way towards the house, even though everything inside you is screaming at you to stay away. Even though with every step you take, your chest tightens and your hands tremble. By the time you reach the door, you're shaking like a leaf. Adrenaline zings through you. You could choke on it. You want to run, but you force yourself to keep moving forward. It's a slow-motion race between you and the sunrise. At this rate, the suns will make it all the way into the sky before you can even knock. You drag yourself the rest of the way, stumbling onto the front step. The door knocker is an intricate yet grotesque thing, an undulating tongue lolling out of a set of sharp teeth, all in cast iron. You grab the lumpy end of the tongue and bang it against the door. Nothing. Crap. Maybe you'll get lucky and the door will open. Out of options, you reach out and turn the doorknob. You can feel the first licks of sunlight against the back of your neck. Is it just you, or is your skin starting to blister? But today's your lucky day. The door opens. We're in a gray house. Anyway, you should feel overjoyed at your life being spared. Instead, your focus is fully on how the rolling in your belly has bloomed fully into nausea. In the distance, inexplicably, is the peal of sirens, an instant whining noise that only continues getting louder. You shouldn't have come here, but it's not like you had another choice. You might as well see what awaits you inside. But as soon as you cross the threshold, the world lurches and you pass out. Creepy clowns. Flat textures. Anyway, you come to in a different room than the foyer, head ringing like someone just whacked it. When you move to sit up, there's a sound of skittering all around you, like hundreds of tiny insects are scurrying away for safety. Had they been roving the floor while you were knocked out? Gross. You prop yourself back to your hands and take a look around. Your impromptu nap has done nothing to assuage the deep sense of wrongness you have about this place. But hey, maybe you managed to sleep through the day. Maybe the sun has set again and you can get out of here. The sense of optimism is misplaced, probably, but it's not as if you can check. There are no windows. But there is a door. I was going to make a Haunted Mansion reference, but there's a door, so I couldn't do that. Okay. You cast your eyes around the room. Underneath the floral peeling wallpaper, the walls are riddled with damp and mold. And on the other side of the room, an open door. Thank goodness. You aren't locked in then. You can go look for somewhere else. You can look for somewhere else in this place that might have a dang window. Creepy. I like the photorealistic one down the way. You step into a long winding corridor. It's so cramped you feel almost as though the walls are closing in. Well, it had been warm enough outside, and here is a deep chill settles over you, sinking deep into your bones. You're half convinced you'll never be warm again. Emanating from somewhere you can't see is music, tinny and rhythmic. It's soon interrupted by crackling noise, like someone trying to tune into a correct station on a radio. Then one of the picture frames lights up. Looks like it actually is some sort of TV screen. Oh! Don't know who's talking. Don't think it matters. Okay, so kind of teenage clown girls. I think they're girls. Welcome. Welcome. We're glad that you're awake and that you came to visit us. We've been really, 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 really bored in this stinky old house. It really sucked. We could have just died from how boring it was. Two voices, one monotonous and so quiet that you can barely hear it, the other shrill, dramatic, like its owner never learned the meaning of the word indoor voice. Catching up with what the quieter person is saying isn't any easier than the high-pitched giggling that starts up in the background whenever they start speaking. So hurry up and find us. We want to play a game. How did I get that? Ugh. Gee, why do those words give you such profound sense of deja vu? The line goes dead. At the same time, a door pops open on the other end of the corridor. You're meant to go through it, you guess. You'd rather go somewhere else, anywhere else, other than through that door, but there's nowhere else to go. Or is there? Approach the door or search for another exit. Okay. Shave it. Approach the door? Oh. Oh, wow, that's scary. I didn't want to see this. Ancient sins, ancient sins. Anyway, Your wariness only intensifies once you set off down the hall because the walls start bleeding. You've seen enough troll blood at this point to be able to recognize it. Multicolored streams ooze all over the wallpaper and faded portraits lining the wall, collecting and congealing in sticky, viscous puddles on the floor. The narrow hallway becomes steeped in stench of copper. You walk faster, but the streams of blood follow you. Interesting music. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how you're supposed to say that word. Sluicing down the ceiling as quickly as you walk. You reach the door, eager to get away from the grisly sight and throw it open, but oh gosh, you haven't considered what might be waiting for you behind it. What if those two shady characters plan to torture you, tie you up and steal your palm husk, text embarrassing messages to your friends while you can only look on in horror, helpless and unable to intervene? Anything but that. Oh gosh, it's a carnival in here. It's too dark to see anything. All you can do is fumble and feel around with your hands. Getting out of the room again is a no-go. The door swung shut behind you as soon as you stepped inside. You shuffle forward on wobbly legs. The floor feels unstable somehow, like it's going to open up and swallow you at any moment. Would it be a good idea to call to see if anyone's there? You manage a feeble, hello? Your voice echoes. Soft laughter reverberates back in response. You catch a glimpse of something from the corner of your eye, a flash of purple. There's a sensation of the eyes of the back of your neck watching you, but you can't discern where the other presence in the room is, if there even is one. You kind of hate this. All the terrible welcomes you've received, this one takes the cake. You have to get out of here. You try to gather your panicked thoughts together and formulate a plan, but before you do anything, a series of ropes appear seemingly from nowhere, coiling tight around you and holding you down. Okay. You're finally away. You're finally here. We've been waiting for you. Whoa, fancy. The light comes on, and it's not the warm, burning rays of sunlight. This room is windowless too, but a spotlight, bright and harsh. It lights up a broad swath of the room, bleaching it white and sending long shadows stretching away from it. Here we go. You see your captors more clearly now. Two purple blood kids. Aside from their expressions, they look exactly the same. A manic glint sparkles in the eye of one of them, as sharp as his razor-bladed grin. The other looks more hesitant, almost sad. Wait a minute, guys. Am I messing up terribly? Okay. We're Basile! And Barzum. You're the alien, ain't ya? You look weird. Your body's real weird. We wonder what color your blood is. Or how springy and slimy your acid tubes are. They squirm around like slitherbeasts when we slice open trolls' bellies. Are yours the same? You struggle against your bonds. You have no idea what acid tubes are, but you'd much rather say they stay inside your body where they belong, thanks. You thought you'd moved past the days where you had to serve as a torture muppet. All you need is a few hours of shelter from the sun, and it's safe to go outside again. You'd really like to leave. This is the wrong thing to say, apparently. One of the twins leers at you disapprovingly. One of them looks so disappointed he might burst into tears. The other just looks angry. No way. We told you. We've been so bored. Do you know what that's like? To be here all alone? With no one else to play with? For wipes? We might have each other, but we're never truly alone. But that's what makes being us so great. But it's so a little difficult to play pranks on someone who always knows what you're thinking and feeling. Wait, you thought Barzum was the quiet one and Basile was the loud one, but it looks like you were mistaken, or did they switch? If you weren't faced with the prospect of having your innards yanked out and played with by bloodthirsty children, you might be more puzzled by their statement. As it stands, you have more pressing problems on your mind right now, so their words fly more or less over your head. You squirm harder, even though it doesn't do any good. In fact, it just seems to make the twins sadder. You settle on smatter. It's SMAD. Okay. Stop trying to get away. It's always like this. Nobody ever wants to play with us. We hate it. Now hold still. You look at them beseechingly, trying to appear as small and helpless as possible. Maybe it's a little pathetic giving puppy dog eyes to literal children, but you've lost track of your own dignity a long time ago. They're not really gonna do this, right? The noise starts up. It sounds suspiciously like a chainsaw? And is that just you, or is there a scent of raw meat in the air? Where the hell is it coming from? You continue straining at your bonds, stomach clenching in fear, bile rising at the back of your throat. They're actually gonna hurt you, right? Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. You wake up gasping, but you aren't strapped down anymore. You're in the same room you were in the beginning. What happened? The room hasn't changed since you've been gone. There's still only one way out. You really, really don't want to step through the door again, but what else can you do? You step through the door. There's the radio crackling again. Welcome. Welcome. We're glad that you're awake. The little greeting goes on like it had before. A pre-recorded message, maybe? Your heart pounds as you step through the second door. You're hoping you'll be able to sidestep the ropes this time, but instead of getting tied up, you trip forward into a vat of what feels like glue. You were lucky enough to have your face turned away from the stickiness, so your nose is still above the surface, so you can breathe. For now, anyway. But you can't move. You're finally here. We've been waiting for you! They're acting like it was the first time all over again. What is this? Are they messing with you? You met already, mere minutes ago. No, we would have remembered. Meaning a weirdo like you. Stop trying to trick us. Then everything goes black for a third time. And here you are again. Welcome. Welcome. Are you for real? This time you get shoved into a box. You're pretty sure you pass out while you're in the middle of getting buried alive. You come to again in the room you're beginning to think is yours yet again. You pass out 5 times. 10. You begin to lose count. You never pass out the same point during the twins' shenanigans, but it inevitably happens and you always end up right back where you started. The worst part is that while your conversation with the twins always stays the same, the way they trap you changes. You get trussed upside down from the ceiling, dunked into a water tank, scrabbling to get out while your lungs begin to burn from the lack of air. Every time you black out before you die, but you've almost died dozens of times by now, and it's beginning to stress you out. You have to be stuck in some sort of time loop. You see this sort of things in movies all the time, and everyone knows that movies are the best points of reference for one's actual life. The hero wakes up in the strains of an old pop song playing on the radio and reminiscence of their childhood journals, which sends them back in time where they could have stopped the crime before it happens, or maybe you're thinking of a different movie. Anyway, your point is that you have to find a way out of the loop. Hopefully you won't have to do anything too wild like stab your past self and then throw your own bloodied corpse out a window. That would really blow. Oh, poor Dave. Unfortunately, you can't find any clues indicating what you should do next. You always pass out. The twins are always excited to play with / torture you. They don't seem to be aware that any of this is happening from what you can tell. After round 20-something or other, you've had it. Enough is enough. You can't take any more giggling, any more of the hard, damp floor, any more excruciating games. You might not be any closer to figuring out what to do, but you have to try something. Screw this or remember who you are. I'm just going to save right here. There's one thing you've been doing wrong. Making this all about escape. You've been so preoccupied with not getting sliced to pieces with knives and everything that you've lost track of what's truly important. The word that echoes in your heart when you rise at dusk and pulses through your bloodstream during the rest of your waking hours until it's time to go to sleep. The word that's kicked off every single narrative you started thus far. Friendship. You'll do things differently this time. You're going to bring yourself to truly care about these creepy clown children. Dang it. Even if it's the last thing you do. And with the way things are going, it very well could be. Their MO is oddly benign this time. A tickling machine. Unfortunately, it's a little difficult for you to talk to them through all the laughter. What are those noises they're making? I think they're trying to tell us something. Miraculously, the tickling stops. You wheeze, trying to catch your breath, hoping to God that you haven't speed. You've managed not to wet yourself out of fear until now, but it might just be the worst. Are you sure about that? It'd be just the worst to have broken your streak due to laughing too hard. What is it about clowns and you divesting your body of waste? After assuring yourself that your underwear is blessedly dry, you ask, if they kill you, won't they just be alone again? How is that beneficial for anyone? They'll be bored and you'll be dead, which you'd rather not be. Their creeping saccharine smiles transform into matching expressions of confusion. Barzum puts a finger on her chin, cocking her head to one side as if in deep thought. Almost like a puppy. Under any other circumstances, you might consider it cute. Okay, I've already lost track of which clown is which, so I'm glad I'm giving them, like, similar sounding voices. Okay? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try for the first time using the scrolling wheel. Oh, you can actually do that. Okay, Barzum is a her. And it's the purple one. Okay. What are you talking about? We don't want to kill you. Maybe just cut you a little. You'll heal right back up again. Don't be such a wiggler. Some of the things they've definitely tried to inflict on you would have definitely taken more than your regular human healing functions to recover from. But wait, you think back to Remele making a whole club in her side and acting like it was no big deal. She said something about higher blood colors being able to take more beatings too. Are the twins assuming that's the case for everyone? This is what happens when all the adults in society go off planet and leave a bunch of zoo animals to bring up their kids. Or, well, trolls have to solve most of their problems by killing each other. You can't discount that either, you suppose. You take a closer look at the twins. There isn't any malice on either of their faces. The only emotion you can discern is idle curiosity. You decide to take that as encouragement. You explain that no, you won't heal up from being sliced open, or from an on-fire scuttlebuggy being flung at your head, because you're human, and humans heal differently from trolls. Well, differently from high-blood trolls, at least. You even use your best babysitter voice for good measure. You feel like you're given a stern talking to about the importance of taking care of one's toys so they don't break. Instead, you propose, why don't you be friends? You can all play together instead of being subject to their torment. They'll be able to play with you for longer that way, too. They give you a strange look. Friends? What's that? Do people not agree to be their playmates very often? No. Usually everyone runs in the other direction. So we have to catch them. Or trick them. That explains a lot. You think you're beginning to understand. If they let you down, you can try to show them what you have in mind. They do. They actually set you free. They turn all the lights on in the room too, so you can finally see everything in it. It's bigger than you expected. They set up like a circus tent. The wires suspended along the ceiling. A person-sized target board rotates the dizzying speeds against the back wall. Juggling clubs, knives, scarves, other props are piled across the floor. You recognize a few of the mechanisms they inflicted on you before. It's pure chaos. So what else do they do with all this stuff? They're still staring at you as if they aren't quite sure how to deal with you engaging with them voluntarily. You're feeling pretty tentative yourself. This whole interaction seems incredibly precarious. You're afraid that if you make a misstep, you'll end up back at the tickling rack again. This isn't ours. We just found it when we got here. But it does look a lot like what's in our hive. We can do shows. And stunts. All kinds of cool stuff. Screw that. Man, even when they aren't threatening you, with the way they talk in chorus, like, that freaks you out a little. In perfect unison. Like they're one voice instead of two. You shake off your fears and suggest they show you a little something. They seem to like that idea. Excitedly, they scurry over to the target board. One twin stands against it while the other one plucks a handful of throwing knives. You're anxious. They don't exactly want them to rough each other instead of you. But Barzum just throws the knives in a graceful arc. They surround Basily perfect, barely missing him. You gasp. Your mouth is a perfect O. The twins seem pleased with themselves, laughing together like they're sharing a secret. If you think that's impressive, watch this! Whoop, switch. They execute a sick flip on a pair of trapeze above a bed of swords, making a daring escape from one of the contraptions they trapped you in. They move similarly to how they speak, perfectly in tedium with each other. No, in tandem, not tedium. Jeez, Jen, read. With a variety of obsessions you've seen amongst your friends, it figures that it was only a matter of time until you met someone who made a hobby of risking their lives. It's not too out there compared to the cage fighting, you suppose, or collecting saucy East Alternian figurines. I like the guy with the sword stuck in him. It looks like Tavros from a distance. It's great. Anyway, you could have escaped. From the trap we put you in earlier, you know. Why didn't you? You laughed nervously. You haven't exactly had much practice, and maybe it would have been easier if you had someone else to help you. You look at the two of them pointedly. You didn't even realize siblings were the thing among trolls, let alone twins. Sibling? What's that? You know, someone who you share a lucis with? Someone you hatched with in the same clutch? Are you phrasing that right? We do share a lucis. We share everything. We didn't just hatch in the same clutch. We hatched from the same egg. Whoa, they literally are twins. Trippy. We were going to be a single troll, but we split in two. Just our bodies, though. Our minds are still one. Whoa, that's creepy. One person, two bodies. We're one and the same. Okay, maybe siblings aren't a thing on Alternia after all. Being literally the same person is quite a bit different from a human concept of twins or siblings. Somehow this leads to them telling you all about a number of exploits they had with some of the other kids in their neighborhood. One story led to another, and soon you're recounting some of your adventures too. They particularly love your attempt to give an impression of Nike, clapping and crowing as you get into a massive power stance and flex your flimsy muscles. You can't help but feel a little proud of yourself. You feel like the guy in Jurassic Park who walked into the Velociraptor den all like, "Be chill, my dudes," and they actually listened to him. Besides, there's something great about making kids laugh, even kids who were trying to murder you less than an hour ago. The twins are in the middle of talking about a prank they played that they found hilarious, and that you're trying hard not to grimace at in horror at when you feel it, a certain change in the air. Didn't they mention they've been stuck here? Did we? Yes, we have. When we try to go through the door, some sort of force pushes us back. You're the first other person we've seen since we got here. You have a hunch that might have changed. Why don't you all try again? They look at you skeptically. If you want. It's not going to be any different, though. You tell them to trust you. Come on, Phil and Lil DeVille, let's get out of here. You look at the front door. The twins are crowding you from either side, clinging to your arms and edging so close it's like they're trying to burrow into you. Ready? They nod and push against the door. Yay! It opens and you breathe in cool evening air. Not so fast. We've gotten this far before. But we won't be able to go any farther. You'll see. You take one step, then another. As you look beyond the grounds of the house, you see things you hadn't when you first got here. Mountains in the distance, other houses. Before, all you could see was shrubbery. You pick up the pace. The house falls behind you, disappearing into the fog. Whoa! You did it! You actually did it! We can finally leave. They swoop in to grab you, hugging you hard. The curving horns of their masks almost stab you in the cheek. These things are a bit of a hazard when their wearers only come up to about where your chest is. They keep talking to you before you can get a word in, pulling you forward and shuffling you along between them. It looks like you were right. It wasn't just enough to save yourself. You had to save them, too. You don't know how, but the key to making this little patch of universe obey the rules of reality once more was friendship all along. It's the friends you make along the way. That's the real treasure. Ha! You almost got me there. You should have seen your face. You were crap your gam tubes terrified. You heave a sigh as their incessant giggling surrounds you like so many playful ghosts. Yes, you say, very clever. They were the ones behind all the nonsense, weren't they? Of course they were. You started guessing somewhere towards the end. Then you wiggle your hands vaguely all the time stuff. They sure scared you, all right. No. That wasn't us. We were talking about the bloody walls and creepy sounds. None of that was real. That was all us. That was all chuckle voodoos. We're the best at chuckle voodoos. So we got you good. They both bounce beside you excitedly. You blink down at them. You have no idea what the heck chuckle voodoos are, but you can only guess that it's some sort of illusionary thing. So they didn't have anything to do with the time messing up, folding in on itself? No. We told you. We've been trying to get out of that stupid house. For wipes. Maybe even a peregrine. Did you really think that was our hive? Our place is so much cooler than that dump. Visit their actual hive. You have your reservations about that, but you can't find it within you to say no as they eagerly pull you along, one twin tugging your hand, the other looping an arm in yours. You have to look back at the house one last time. You have no clue whether the twins are lying or if they're telling the truth. What really caused what happened here? What really caused what happened here? Right. But right now, you're content enough knowing that if you'll never have to see this place ever again. Yes. Of course you do. Your sort of creature always does. You're worn out. Last night, well, it sure was something. You lived, probably. You learned, definitely. You made choices. You had to. And after all this time, here you still are. So after a day of recuperation from ragers and houses of horror, you're out walking the streets of this place you may as well start calling home. You changed out of your party gear, opting out for your hoodie standby. Fits your mood when you're in. You're not really looking to meet anyone new tonight. Well, you wouldn't say no, probably, but you're not jonesing for it. Only a little. It's complicated. After an indeterminable amount of minutes, aimless walking, you look around at where you've ended up. You seem to have wandered into a dirt pile. Oh, you know this dirt pile. It's Fozzer's corpse field. How did you get here, you wonder? You're pretty sure you were just on the other side of the city with no particular desire to come anywhere near here. It's probably fine, just your deep, intimate bro-honing skills taking over your dang body. Just like friendship things. You look around for your pal Fozzer, peeking down into a few of the deeper holes. You might as well say hello since you're here and all. Holy crap, that again? Curiosity killed the cat, but you've definitely got more than 9 lives, so you shrug and slide not gracefully down into the shiny hole. Yeah, I thought I remembered. I guess the shining light is coming from the fenestrated pane. I remember seeing that and being like, fenestrated pane, what the heck? Anyway, Fozzer's nowhere to be found, but there is a window down here. It's almost completely unearthed, and it doesn't take much effort to free it the rest of the way. At first you think it might be some cool new trash you could make art with, but when you look closer you reconsider. There's a whole room that you can see through this pane of glass lying at your feet. That's weird. Weirdness isn't typically a deterrent for you. But usually there's at least some causational coherence. Doors are in walls. Walls surround rooms. You aren't used to finding parlors and ditches. Is there a latch or something? Should you do a polite little knock? There might be friends in there. Dang, you really could go for some friends right now. Is there protocol for approaching ditch window? Allow me to stop you there. I'm a timeless being of the void, but my patience has its limits. Fun is fun, but this frivolous navel-gazing is no longer necessary. Come in from behind the shadow of that narrative text. It's so very hard to see your face. Yeah, I feel like I've stepped a bit further than I'm supposed to. What the hell? You aren't sure where you are. It's unsurprisingly a little nerve-wracking. You look over your shoulder at the window. You guess you just came through? The Alternian sky is framed at the edge of your dirt hole, and the knot in your stomach loosens a bit. Hopefully that means it's a two-way portal. Hi, Doc. You look at your surroundings. Oh, there's someone here. The guy you just heard, you assume. He doesn't look like any other aliens you've met. Oh, I'm not an alien. Or no more than any of us are alien to each other. In fact, nothing is alien to me. The root concept behind that term is alienation, being forced from that which is natural. Nothing is unnatural to me. I look upon all realities as equally inviting and approachable. It's you, my dear, who are out of place. I could see that even if I were not omniscient, which I am. Okay, so not an alien. With no horns or a caste sign, though he's definitely not a troll. Whatever he is, he seems to be white, just really white, all round. His outfit is admittedly kind of dope. Looking at him really ramps up your French thirst. He's just got this quality about him that you've got to get with. You take a step toward him, almost without thinking about it. Oh, my apologies. That compulsion has become extraneous. Let me take care of it for you. He snaps his fingers and your knees buckle. The force of the universe presses down on you like G-force. You blink and somehow he's there immediately, arms outstretched to catch you as you fall. He steers you to a chaise lounge and you drape yourself weakly into it. Please have a seat. The emotional transition might have been a tad uncomfortable, but I know you've handled worse. You're quite the soldier. No, I'm still reading him. Sorry. Allow me to be the first to say that I am pleased with your work. I knew exactly what you were going to do, of course. The most of your work was, in fact, my work. Regardless, congratulations are in order. What is the guy talking about? Your work? You try to parse what he's saying, but your body is still shaking from whatever he just did to you, and it's hard to think in here. You sharply don't feel friendly towards him at all anymore, or towards anyone. The void left by that feeling is a fresh gaping horror. It's like who you thought you were caved in itself. A black hole of personality eating your body from the inside. You try to pull your stuff together. He seems like he means business. This is no time to lose it, no matter if your sense of self is shattering. When you truly reflect on yourself, you surely can't with any honestly claim to believe any of this was by your own making. Crash landing on a hostile alien world, surviving the impact, dragging around a half-broken body and somehow not immediately being eaten by local fauna? Did you learn an alien language just by thinking about it very, very hard? Right, Malik said something about that. That you were speaking perfect Alternian? And it was kind of weird that you're kind of just accepted it for no good reason. That's your whole deal. All your friends all accepted your quirks. That's what friends do. You say it to convince yourself as much as prove it to him. So many trolls, so many fascinating aliens, and all of them wanted to know you. Did you really think you managed that on your own laurels? If you just put like a little, comma there, that could be talking to me directly. Anyway. Were they all drawn to an indefinable something, a je ne sais quoi? Well, yeah, you had a whole emotional arc. You got self-confidence. You grew as a person and helped others to grow. The white text guy doesn't make any expressions, but you get the feeling he's looking at you pityingly. I find you sweet. Honestly, I do. I don't intend to cause emotional injury. I'm just telling you the truth. I never lie, you'll find. It isn't like you don't have admirable qualities of your own, of course. You have made quite the valuable vessel for me, and I appreciate that very much. I could not have done it without you. I am only joking. I absolutely could have done it without you. It is definitely more fun to do these things together, is it not? You just said that you didn't lie, and that was kind of a lie. What things? What did he do? What did you do? You hope that you didn't do something that would screw over all your friends. Though when you try to think about them now, the bonds you felt before have come up all twisted. Without the artificial friendship drive he'd given you, pushing you forward, you're not even sure those memories are what those are supposed to feel like. You close your eyes and breathe. You try to remember the way Polypa touched your face after you touched hers, her claws trailing down your cheek. How Tisius slept, trusting, as you kept watch. How Tagora gave you a chance when he saw something in you didn't see in yourself. How, not that long ago, you got chitter handle from an extremely friendly Jade Blood boy. Those moments are like the memory of warmth to you now, blurry, cold, out of reach. Was all that nothing? Your heart is a chasm. Don't worry about it. I simply needed some dots connected, some pieces in place for my next move. Choose whichever metaphor suits you. Whichever way you frame it, because of you, everyone will soon be in their right place. Crap, what have you done? Your head starts to spin and you think you might cry, so you pull your hood up to your head to block out the harsh green of the room. You try to imagine that it still smells like Malik. It doesn't. It doesn't smell like anything really, but you remember what it smelled like at first. You hold on to that. It was real, you tell yourself. Your friends were real, and it was you felt for them, and with them, it was real too. You're afraid for them, and as guilty as you feel for craving it, the fear that makes you need those feelings you felt before even more. You're clawing desperately at the euphoria of caring, of being cared for. Who cares if your hand was forced? You felt in it. It still matters. You remember how you felt watching Chixie perform, bathed in light and righteous anger, and how you drunkenly commiserated with her later when, no, that's not right. That didn't happen. Except you still remember how hungover you were the next day. Whoa, just when you start making sense of things, the whole world shifts under your feet again. You just can't keep up with all this moving real estate in your brain. Ah, yes. All the resets. Annoying, but necessary. You're just indescribably bad at keeping yourself alive and in one piece, and you weren't quite as adept at befriending aliens to start out with. My intervention was necessary to keep you on the right path. Time and space mean very little to me, but I had to move quickly, and again, repeatedly. Swipe some indiscriminating note-taking here, befriend the impressionable young upstart there, anger a collar bear, inspire some bandits. You know how it is. You have to throw some temporal spaghetti at the wall and to see what sticks. I'm sure if you look back, you'll be able to see traces of my deft touch. So a few moments may have slipped through the cracks here and there. Timelines tend to collapse in on each other if you aren't careful. Your ability to mentally withstand such an event, and so often, is a testament to my acumen in choosing you for the task. You even almost caught on a few times, which I must say is I was not expecting. You almost listened to that silly little girl who likes to dress up in big coats and cause me trouble. Whew. And, as always, some bystanders end up caught in the crossfire. The one with the shovel, for instance. I doubt his mind will ever be the same. Pity. You straight up and saunter and clench your hands into fists. Over the course of his pompous monologuing, you move past fear and grief and into deep, globe-chafing rage. How dare he do this to your mind, to your friends' lives? What was so important that one white orb idiot had to mess with the destinies of everyone you've grown to care about? There are answers out there, and you deserve them, and so you demand. Adorable. Yikes, you shift on the chase lounge as to better hide your famous legs from the creepy round trucker. Oh, calm down. All of you and your adherence to societal expectations and archetypes. Perhaps one day you could just learn to take a compliment. Besides, I was being condescending. So you demand answers. He sighs theatrically. You aren't sure where the noise is even coming from. He doesn't have a mouth. How is he even talking? How does anything work at all? I knew you would, but I find explaining myself incredibly tedious. Suffice to say, I'm a man with many boards and fields of play, and although there are countless ways to move the players around those boards, some are doubtlessly more entertaining than others. You were simply one pawn among many. I won't bore you with the details. Doubtless you were aware of greater contextual framework of this story. The hell you are! You aren't aware of Jack! Your head is full of question marks. Oh, of course, how thoughtless of me. See, yet another unfortunate side effect of the limitless conversing with the narratively limited. He taps a thumb and forefinger to his orb. Perhaps it would suit you better to understand gradually. When I say gradually, please understand that I mean it. You won't be leaving. But yes, I do believe this will clarify some things for you. This way, please. He opens the door and gestures inside. There's a light coming from in there, but it still gives off the vibe of a dark closet door in an unfamiliar bedroom at 3 a.m. You're afraid, yeah, but you want to understand even more. You stand up and take a step, conscious of the movement of your muscles and your legs. With the rosy sheen of your friendship, hypnosis, or whatever he did to you gone, the sensation of moving your own body feels heightened, important, yours. There's probably a version of you that would try to turn him down, and that would fight or run or take a nap on his surprisingly comfortable piece of antique furniture. You even consider rushing back to say goodbye to somebody, anybody at least, but you know there isn't time to click through all that bull. Those tributaries flicker in your mental periphery, so tangible you can almost see yourself choosing one. But you pull your focus back to your present and look to the present and look him right in the orb. You'll just have to trust they remember you, because the you've become after this journey, after this friendship and the growth and death and time, that you needs to understand. You owe it to your friends, but even more, you owe it to yourself. You found your river, and you're going to see where it leads. So you follow him. Sit here, please. In this interest of expediency, I'll leave you to your own devices while I go deal with an unexpected but entirely unwanted guest. It shouldn't be too hard to parse out the truth on your own. All you need to do is read a brief webcomic. You son of a biscuit! Did you just kick me? You kicked me to MS Paint Adventures. How freaking dare you? Okay. Well, let's take a look. Yep, we got all the endings all right. All the befriendments. Technically, I haven't gotten all the bad endings, despite my attempts. So I'm probably gonna make a video covering all of the, like, you know, second bad endings I could have gotten. I don't think I'll be doing the first bad endings, because those ones just, you know, like, end the story, like, really, really quickly, usually. And who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, look, I didn't get a chance to see this one. Hello, Zep. You played a game with some pranksters. They look so cute. Can I click on the thing? No? I wish I could. Anyway, that's interesting. We got to find out how the MS Paint adventure readers got, like, reading the comic in the first place. So this is kind of strange, kind of crazy. Loving it, though. I guess, for now, until I see you guys all next time, have a good day, drink some water, and try not to, scream into oblivion. See you all next time. Bye!
Hey there. Consider becoming a patron, just like the phenomenal Bleed Red, Alexander Madeline, and Uranium Coffee.